The Force is light and full of shadows.
Before we dive in, check the link in the description if you want exclusive Timelines members-only videos you won't find on YouTube, all on our Patreon. Morning light filters through ancient windows. The room is quiet, serene. Yoda sits in contemplation. Small, ancient, green robes perfectly still. Across from him, Anakin Skywalker, 22 years old, Jedi robes disheveled, dark circles under his eyes. He hasn't slept. 24 hours ago, he rescued Chancellor Palpatine, killed Count Dooku, crash-landed on Coruscant. Last night, he had the nightmare, Padme dying in childbirth, screaming, the vision so vivid he can still hear it. He came to Yoda for guidance, for answers, for help. The Grand Master has been listening. Now he speaks. Premonitions. These visions you have. Anakin's voice is tight, controlled. They are of pain, suffering, death. Yourself you speak of, or someone you know. Someone close to you? Yes. Careful you must be when sensing the future, Anakin. The fear of loss is a path to the dark side. Anakin leans forward, desperate. I won't let these visions come true, Master Yoda. Yoda closes his eyes, speaks with the weight of 800 years. Death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. Mourn them, do not. Miss them, do not. Attachment leads to jealousy. The shadow of greed, that is. Anakin's hands clench. What must I do, Master Yoda? The Grand Master opens his eyes, delivers the line he's delivered to countless Jedi over centuries. The wisdom of the Order, the foundation of the Code. Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. The words hang in the air, and something inside Anakin Skywalker shatters. Not his composure, something deeper, a seam in reality itself. The memories don't arrive gently, don't unfold in sequence. They detonate. 20 years of existence compressed into less than 1 second. The smell hits first. Volcanic ash, chemical burn of cauterized flesh, the specific stench of a body kept alive through machinery. Then sound. H-H-H-H-Coo. The respirator, the breathing that isn't breathing, the machine rhythm that never stops. The weight comes next. Black armor encasing every centimeter of skin, servos in every joint, the helmet that never comes off, the pain constant beneath everything. Standing in the Emperor's throne room, red guards motionless, Palpatine's voice from the throne. What is thy bidding, my master? The bridge of a star destroyer, Admiral Ozzel choking, dying, the cold satisfaction of watching him fall. Padme's face, her eyes wide, not frightened of the galaxy, frightened of him, her hands reaching out, her voice breaking. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. His hands, armored hands, mechanical fingers rising, the Force closing around her throat, squeezing. She's choking. He's doing it. Can't stop. Won't stop. No, she didn't betray him. She never did. He killed her. He did this. Mustafar. Lava below. Obi-Wan above. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. The jump. The mistake. The saber strike. Both legs gone. Left arm gone. The heat. The burning. The screaming. The operating table. Droids working. Palpatine's voice. Lord Vader. Can you hear me? The mask sealing. The armor locking. The first mechanical breath. H.H.Q. 23 years in that suit. Hunting Jedi. Burning worlds. Killing children. Becoming the thing he swore to destroy. Luke. His son. Green lightsaber. I am a Jedi like my father before me. The Emperor's lightning. Luke screaming. The choice. Lifting Palpatine. The lightning turning. The fall. The mask coming off. Luke's face. Father, please. Dying. Finally dying. Free. All of it. 45 years of existence. In less than 1 second. Anakin Skywalker does not fall. Does not rage. He sits perfectly, terribly still. His breathing, real breathing, lungs that work. Air that comes freely. Slows. Deepens. Becomes deliberate. Yoda waits, sensing something. Wrong. Different. The Force signature rolling off Anakin has changed. Not darker. Not lighter. deeper, like he's aged decades in a single heartbeat. Anakin's eyes open. When he speaks, his voice is utterly calm, dangerously calm. Let go of everything I fear to lose. He stands slowly, not the frustrated movement Yoda expects, controlled, precise. I followed that advice, Master Yoda. I tried to let go. I tried to suppress my fear, my love, my attachment. Do you know what happened? Yoda's ears twitch. Anakin, I lost everything. My wife, my children, my brothers, myself. The air in the room grows heavy. You teach that attachment leads to the dark side. But it wasn't my love for Padme that damned me. It was my fear of that love. The shame, the secrecy, the isolation. Yoda rises to his feet. Something is very wrong. Anakin takes a step forward. His presence in the Force is overwhelming, not aggressive, just vast. Like staring into a canyon that wasn't there a moment ago. You say mourn them do not, miss them do not, as if grief is weakness. But grief is proof that we loved, that we were human. By denying grief, you don't create peace, you create emptiness. Young Skywalker, the shadow of greed, no, Master, the shadow of fear. You taught me to fear my own heart, and that fear made me vulnerable to someone who promised I could save her without having to let go. Yoda's ancient eyes narrow, reading the Force. This is not a vision, not a premonition. This is knowledge, absolute, certain. Apathy is not peace, detachment is not wisdom, and suppression is not balance. How know this, do you? Become something else entirely, not a young Jedi, a man who has walked through hell. Because I lived it. I have memories of the next 20 years, Master. I've seen where your path leads. I became Darth Vader, enforcer of a galactic empire, and Padme died believing I had betrayed everything we stood for. Silence, complete silence. Yoda stares at the young man before him, reaches through the Force, probing, searching. What he finds shakes him to his core. Truth, not madness, not corruption, not deception. Absolute, terrible truth. The Sith Lord you're looking for? Anakin continues. He's been in plain sight all along. Chancellor Palpatine is Darth Sidious, and he's been grooming me to be his apprentice since I was 9 years old. For the first time in 800 years, the Grand Master of the Jedi Order is completely speechless. Anakin doesn't wait for permission, doesn't ask for guidance. I'm going to save my wife, stop Palpatine, and prevent the fall of the Republic. You can help me, or you can meditate on where your philosophy went wrong. He turns to leave. Master Skywalker. Yoda's voice is quiet, shaken. Wait. Anakin pauses at the door, doesn't turn around. This knowledge, these memories, certain you are? As certain as the scars I carry from a future that hasn't happened yet. Palpatine. The Chancellor. Darth Sidious, he is? Yes. And you, Darth Vader, you became, for 23 years, until my son redeemed me. Yoda closes his eyes, the weight of centuries pressing down. Then failed, I have. Failed, the Order has. Wrong, we have been. Looks at the ancient master. You weren't wrong about everything, just the parts that mattered most. He leaves. Yoda stands alone in the meditation room, 800 years of certainty crumbling around him. Senate Apartment District, Padme's residence. 2 hours later, Anakin arrives wearing a civilian cloak, not hiding. Just private. C-3PO greets him at the door. Oh, Master Ani. Privacy, 3PO. Please. The protocol droid shuffles away. Confused but obedient. Padme is in the living area. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Coruscant's endless cityscape beyond. She's reviewing Senate documents but looks up when Anakin enters. One look at his face and she knows. Anakin, what's wrong? He crosses to her, takes her hands, gentle but urgent. Everything and nothing. His voice is steady, controlled. Padme, I need to tell you something, and I need you to trust me, even though it sounds impossible. She studies his eyes, sees something she's never seen before. Clarity. Tell me. He sits beside her, still holding her hands. The visions I've been having, about you dying, they're not just nightmares. Their memories. From a future that hasn't happened yet. Padme's breath catches. Anakin, please. Let me finish. She nods. I saw myself in a black suit of armor. More machine than man. I saw you die, grieving and heartbroken. I saw myself as Darth Vader, enforcer of Emperor Palpatine. I saw our children, twins, hidden away because the Empire hunted Jedi. Her hand moves instinctively to her stomach. Still flat, the pregnancy barely 2 months along. I saw 20 years of darkness, pain, and regret. I saw myself kill younglings in the temple, hunt down Jedi across the galaxy, serve a Sith Lord who manipulated everything from the beginning. How? Her voice shakes. How is this possible? I don't know. This morning, I went to Yoda for help. He told me to let go of everything I fear to lose. And when he said those words, Anakin pauses. Something broke open. The memories flooded in. All of them. Complete. Absolute. Padmé searches his face, looking for signs of madness, of corruption. Finds neither. Just her husband, more focused than she's ever seen him, more certain. Our children, she whispers. Twins? Luke and Leia. I never even knew them, Padmé. Palpatine told me you died, that I killed you in my anger. And I believed him because I had already become his creature. Tears streamed down her face. Not from fear, from grief for a future that almost was. You said Emperor Palpatine, the Chancellor, is Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord we've been searching for. He orchestrated both sides of this war, manipulated the Senate, groomed me from childhood. Everything, every piece of the last 13 years, has been his plan. Padmé stands, paces, Senator mode activating, processing. If Palpatine is Sidious, then the entire war has been orchestrated. The Separatists, the Republic, both manipulated. The clone army, Anakin adds. In my memories, there are inhibitor chips in the clones' brains. Order 66. When Palpatine activates it, every clone will turn on their Jedi commanders and execute them simultaneously. Padmé's eyes widen. The political implications. The horror. We need proof. We need allies. We need Obi-Wan. I'm telling him today. She turns to him. You're going to tell the council? Eventually. But I need Obi-Wan first. He's my brother. He'll believe me. Or at least, he'll trust me enough to investigate. Padmé crosses back to him. Kneels. Takes his face in her hands. Anakin, if this future you saw was real, what makes you think you can change it? He meets her eyes. Absolute certainty. Because this time, I'm not alone, and I'm not afraid to ask for help. She kisses him. Fierce, desperate, grateful. When they separate, she's crying again. What do we do? First, you stay safe. In that timeline, Palpatine used you as leverage against me, threatened your life, your death, our children's future. He won't get that chance this time. I'm not hiding, Anakin. I'm not asking you to hide. I'm asking you to be strategic. We expose Palpatine together. You handle the Senate. I handle the Jedi. We prove he's Sidious before he can activate Order 66. Padmé absorbs this, then nods. What about the inhibitor chips? I know the activation codes, the frequency, the protocols. Vader had full access to Imperial military databases. I can neutralize them, but I need help accessing the Republic's military mainframe. I can get you in. Senator oversight, budgetary review. We'll find a pretext. They sit together, husband and wife, planning to save the galaxy. Anakin, Padmé says quietly. In that other timeline, when I died, did you love me? So much it destroyed me. I couldn't imagine existing without you, so I fell to the dark side trying to save you, and that choice is what killed you. She takes his hand, places it on her stomach. Then this time, love me differently. Love me enough to trust me, to work with me, not to save me like I'm helpless, but to fight alongside me like I'm your equal. Anakin's eyes close. I will, I promise. And our children, Luke and Leia, they'll know their father? They'll know both their parents. I swear it. They hold each other, the weight of 2 timelines pressing down, but also hope. This time they know what's coming. This time they're not alone. Jedi Temple. Later that afternoon, Anakin finds Obi-Wan in the training halls. His former master is practicing Form 3, Sorsu, defensive perfection. The blue blade moves in precise arcs, each motion economical, beautiful. Anakin waits until Obi-Wan finishes the sequence. Anakin. Obi-Wan deactivates his lightsaber. I heard you met with Master Yoda this morning. I did. And? I need to speak with you, privately. It's urgent. Obi-Wan sees something in Anakin's expression. Tense, purposeful, but not angry. Different. Of course. My quarters? Somewhere without recording devices. Obi-Wan's eyebrows rise. That serious? That serious. They walk through the temple corridors. Silent. Obi-Wan leads them to a small meditation chamber. Unused. Private. The door closes. Anakin reaches into his utility belt, produces a small device, activates it. A signal jammer. Military grade. Anakin, what? I'm about to tell you 3 things that will sound insane, but I need you to hear me out completely before you respond. Obi-Wan's hand moves subtly closer to his lightsaber. Not threatening. Just ready. All right. Anakin takes a breath, then speaks with absolute clarity. First, I am married to Padmé Amidala. We were wed in secret at the end of the Battle of Geonosis, 3 years ago. She is pregnant with our children. Obi-Wan's face goes carefully neutral. Processing. Anakin, please, let me finish. Obi-Wan nods slowly. Second, Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith Lord Darth Sidious. He's been orchestrating both sides of this war. Count Dooku was his apprentice. General Grievous is his pawn. The entire Clone Wars is a trap designed to destroy the Jedi and install Palpatine as Emperor. Obi-Wan's hand is on his lightsaber now, not drawing it, just touching it. Third, I have memories of the future. In that timeline, Palpatine manipulated me into becoming his apprentice. I fell to the dark side, became Darth Vader, and helped him exterminate the Jedi Order. Padme died. The Republic became the Empire. And I spent 20 years as Palpatine's slave, more machine than man, before my son redeemed me. Silence. Long silence. Obi-Wan stares at his former Padawan, blue eyes searching. Then, your son. Twins. Luke and Leia. You hid Luke on Tatooine with my stepbrother. Bail Organa took Leia to Alderaan. Obi-Wan sits down heavily on a meditation cushion. This is insane. I know, but Obi-Wan, you've known me since I was 9 years old. You can sense when I'm lying. You can feel when I'm afraid. Right now, I'm neither. I'm absolutely certain. Obi-Wan closes his eyes, reaches out through the Force. What he senses shakes him. Anakin is telling the truth. Or at least, Anakin believes absolutely that he's telling the truth. And more. There's a weight to Anakin's presence in the Force. A depth that wasn't there yesterday. Like he's aged decades in a single day. The chips, Anakin continues. Every clone has an inhibitor chip. Palpatine will use them to activate Order 66, a command to execute all Jedi. Commander Cody will try to kill you on Utapau. Commander Bly will kill Aayla Secura on Felucia. Across the galaxy in a single instant, the clone army will turn on us. Obi-Wan opens his eyes. How do you know about the chips? Because Vader knew. Fives tried to warn us, but we didn't listen. The Kaminoans claimed they were behavioral modifiers, but they're execution protocols. Palpatine's final insurance policy. Obi-Wan stands, paces, thinking. This is his defining moment. The Jedi Code says report this to the Council. Arrest Anakin for his marriage. Trust the Order. But he's also the man who loved Duchess Satine. Who understands the cost of rigid dogma? Who has watched Anakin grow from child to man? And he knows. Anakin has never been more clear-headed, never more certain, never more at peace. If what you're saying is true, Obi-Wan speaks slowly, then we're about to face the greatest threat the Jedi Order has ever known. Yes, and you're asking me to trust you over the Council, to keep your secret, to help you commit treason against the Supreme Chancellor based on visions. I'm asking you to trust your brother, not the Council, not the Code. Me. Obi-Wan looks at Anakin for a long moment. Then he sits back down. Tell me everything. From the beginning. Every detail. For the next hour, Anakin lays it all out. how Palpatine groomed him from childhood, the Opera House conversation about Darth Plagueis, the confrontation with Mace Windu, the attack on the temple, the duel on Mustafar, everything. Obi-Wan listens, his expression growing more horrified with each revelation. When Anakin finishes, Obi-Wan's voice is quiet. You said we fought. On Mustafar? Yes. I tried to kill you. You cut off my legs and left arm, left me to burn. You thought I was dead, but Palpatine saved you, rebuilt me, kept me alive in that suit as punishment and control. Tears stream down Anakin's face now, first time since the memories returned. You told me you loved me, that I was your brother, and I told you I hated you. Those were the last words we spoke for 20 years. Obi-Wan stands, crosses to Anakin, grips his shoulders. Then we make sure that conversation never happens. You're my brother, Anakin. You always have been. Code or no code. Anakin's composure breaks. He embraces Obi-Wan. Brothers. Finally honest. When they separate, Obi-Wan asks, "What do you need from me? Tomorrow you're supposed to leave for Utapau. Intelligence will confirm Grievous's location. Don't go. Or rather, take extra precautions. Commander Cody is programmed to kill you after you defeat Grievous. And Palpatine? And we need to neutralize the clone chips first. If we move against Palpatine and he activates Order 66, we all die. Then we need access to Kamino's systems, which I have. Vader had full access to Imperial military databases. I know the frequency, the activation codes, the kill switch protocols. Obi-Wan's eyes widen. Can we deactivate them remotely? No, but we can corrupt the activation signal, prevent Palpatine from triggering them. We need to access the Republic's military mainframe. We'll need help. This is too big for just the two of us. Padme is already working on the political angle. If we can prove Palpatine is Sidious, she can rally the Senate. What about the Council? Anakin hesitates. Yoda knows. I told him this morning. He's processing. And Mace? In my timeline, Mace almost killed Palpatine. But I stopped him. And that's when I fell. This time we bring evidence. We bring overwhelming force. We don't give Palpatine a chance to manipulate the situation. Obi-Wan nods slowly. When do we move? Tonight. We access the military mainframe. Corrupt Order 66. Download the evidence. Then we confront Palpatine. That's fast. We don't have time for slow. In the original timeline, everything happens in the next 72 hours. Council meeting, Opera House, Utapau. Order 66. I need to stay ahead of the timeline. Change events before they solidify. Obi-Wan places a hand on Anakin's shoulder. You said Luke was on Tatooine. With your stepbrother. Protected him from a distance. Did I ever tell him about you? Not until he was ready. You kept your promise. Obi-Wan's voice is thick with emotion. Then I'll keep another promise now. We will stop this. Together. They clasp hands. Always two there are, Anakin says with a dark smile. But this time, it's the Jedi who have the pair. The building looms. Massive. Secure. The nerve center of the Grand Army of the Republic. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme approach from the Senate district. Civilian clothes. No Jedi robes. R2-D2 rolls beside them, whistling softly. This is insane, Padme murmurs. This is necessary, Anakin replies. They reach the main entrance. Security checkpoint. 2 guards. Padme steps forward. Senatorial credentials in hand. Senator Amidala. Budgetary oversight. I need to review clone deployment records. The guard scans her credentials. It's very late, Senator. The Republic's finances don't keep office hours. He hesitates, then nods. You're cleared, but you'll need an escort. These are my assistants. She gestures to Anakin and Obi-Wan, and my astromech. The guard looks at them. 2 men in civilian clothes. 1 droid. Nothing unusual. Go ahead, Senator. They enter. Inside, the building is vast. Corridors, terminals, strategic displays showing fleet positions across the galaxy. Late night, skeleton crew, mostly automated systems. Perfect. Padme leads them deeper, using her legitimate access to get past checkpoints. Anakin's knowledge of Imperial security protocols, learned as Vader, guides them around cameras, guard rotations, surveillance blind spots. Left here, he whispers. Guard change in 30 seconds. We move during the transition. Obi-Wan watches Anakin with quiet amazement. You've done this before. As Vader, I broke into rebel bases, Jedi sanctuaries, fortified worlds. I know how future Imperial, security thinks. Because I designed half of it. They reach the central data core. Massive room, server stacks, holographic displays. R2-D2 plugs into a terminal. Immediate encryption firewalls. It's locked behind Kaminoan biosignatures and Chancellor-level authorization, Obi-Wan observes. Anakin steps forward, begins typing. Sequences that won't exist for another 2 decades. Except they do exist now, because Palpatine has already implemented the foundational architecture. One by one, the firewalls fall. How is this possible? Padme breathes. Palpatine thinks in decades. He's been building the infrastructure for the Empire since before the Clone Wars even started. These protocols are already in place, just dormant. The screen fills with data. Biochip designation, Protocol 66, installation, all clone units, Kamino production, activation, voice command, Supreme Chancellor authorization only, function, execute all Jedi, no exceptions, no hesitation, frequency, 32.73 MHz, subspace encrypted, but there's more. Dozens of other protocols. Order 65, remove the Supreme Chancellor. Order 4, strategic civilian evacuation. The chips aren't just for Order 66, Obi-Wan realizes. They're total control mechanisms. Palpatine can command the entire army with a single word. Anakin's fingers fly across the console. I'm introducing a quantum dissonance field into the activation frequency. When Palpatine tries to transmit Order 66, the signal will scatter across 17 different frequencies. The chips will receive static. Won't that alert him something's wrong? Padme asks. Only when he tries to use it, and by then, it'll be too late. R2 beeps urgently, projects a holographic file, contingency order records, buried deep, encrypted. Palpatine's private notes. Order 66 will be executed upon my signal. The Jedi traitors will be eliminated. Skywalker will lead the temple assault. The transition to Empire is inevitable. That's it, Padme says fiercely. That's the evidence. He's explicitly planning genocide. Download everything, Obi-Wan commands. R2 complies. Files transferring. Suddenly the droid whistles. Security patrol approaching. 10 seconds. The team freezes. Trapped in the data core. Only one exit. Guards coming down the same corridor. Anakin makes a split-second decision. Obi-Wan, Padme hide behind the server stacks. I'll handle this. Anakin, trust me. They hide. Anakin stands in plain sight, Jedi robes visible now. He pulled them from his pack. The door opens. 2 guards enter. Anakin stands calm, authoritative. Evening, General Skywalker. They salute. At ease. I'm running a security diagnostic for the Council. Routine check of classified systems. Should we log this, sir? No need. Classified Council business. Continue your patrol. Yes, sir. They leave. Padme emerges from hiding. That was your plan. Stand there and look confident? Anakin grins. The old cocky grin. I'm a war hero. No one questions war heroes. Obi-Wan shakes his head, smiling despite himself. R2 beeps. Download complete. Order 66 signal corrupted. We have everything we need to expose Palpatine, Obi-Wan says. Not yet, Anakin replies. The Council will move too slowly. They'll debate, question, and Palpatine will sense the threat and accelerate his timeline. Then, what do you suggest? We force his hand. We make him reveal himself on our terms, in a way that can't be denied or covered up. Padme looks at her husband. You're going to confront him directly. Yes, but not alone, and not without backup. They exit the building. Into Coruscant's endless night. As they walk, Obi-Wan places a hand on Anakin's shoulder. You've changed. This knowledge, this weight you carry, It's made you sharper, more focused. Vader was a lot of things. A monster, a slave, a broken man. But he was also brilliant, a tactical genius, and now I have all of that knowledge without the corruption. The dark side without the darkness. No, the wisdom of experience without having to live through the horror. Safe. Secure. Inside, they review the evidence, the files, the protocols, the proof. Tomorrow, Anakin says, I confront Palpatine, get him to confess, record everything. That's dangerous. Padme warns. I know, but I also know exactly how he'll react. What he'll say, what he'll offer. I've heard it all before. This time, I'll be ready. Obi-Wan nods. We'll be listening. Remote holocom. The moment you're in danger, we come in. Agreed. They sit together. 3 people, planning to save the galaxy. Anakin looks at his hands, whole, unblemished. Not the mechanical replacements, not the armored gloves, just hands. Tomorrow, they either save everything or lose it all. But tonight, for the first time since the memories returned, Anakin feels something approaching hope, not because he's strong, because he's not alone. Chancellor's office, Senate building, morning. Day 3. Anakin arrives without warning. Civilian clothes. No Jedi robes, trying to appear casual. The Chancellor's guards recognize him. Let him through immediately. After all, he's Palpatine's good friend, his personal representative to the Jedi Council. The office doors open. Palpatine sits behind his desk. Holographic displays floating around him. Galactic tactical readouts. Senate business. The face of a man managing a republic at war. He looks up. Warm smile spreading across grandfatherly features. Anakin, my boy, this is unexpected. Please, sit. Anakin enters, lets the door close behind him. He sits in the visitor's chair, the same chair he's occupied 100 times. Comfortable, familiar. But today he lets his body language tell a story. Slumped shoulders, worried eyes, clenched hands. The picture of a desperate young man. I need guidance, Chancellor. The Council doesn't trust me. Obi-Wan asked me to spy on you, and I don't know what to do anymore. Palpatine's expression shifts to fatherly concern, exactly as Anakin knew it would. They asked you to spy on me. That's treason, Anakin. They think you're going to refuse to give up your emergency powers when the war ends. And what do you think? Anakin channels the confusion he genuinely felt in the original timeline, letting Palpatine see what he wants to see. I think the Council is failing. They denied me the rank of Master. They don't understand attachment. They told me to let go of everything I fear to lose, but I can't. I won't. Eyes gleaming. Fear of loss is a path to great suffering, Anakin, unless you know how to use it. What do you mean? The Jedi teach suppression. But there are other philosophies, other ways to approach the Force. Anakin feigns hesitation. The dark side. Such absolutist thinking. Light, dark, these are just labels. Power is power. And those who understand how to wield it properly can achieve things the Jedi call unnatural, perfect, hookset, hidden in Anakin's utility belt, a holocom transmitter, activated remotely by R2-D2, broadcasting on a secure frequency directly to Obi-Wan in the Jedi Council chambers with Yoda and Mace Windu, every word being recorded. I had another vision last night, Chancellor, about Padme. She was dying. I couldn't save her. Palpatine's eyes flash. This is it. The vulnerability he's been waiting for. There might be a way to prevent such a tragedy. Have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No. Anakin has heard this speech, lived with its consequences for 23 years. Now he listens again, recording every word. I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Palpatine stands, moves to the window, his back to Anakin. The perfect storyteller's pose. Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying. Save people from death. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. What happened to him? He became so powerful, the only thing he was afraid of was losing his power, which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep. Palpatine pauses. Deliberate, dramatic timing. Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself. Is it possible to learn this power? Palpatine turns. Predatory smile. Not from a Jedi. Anakin lets it hang. Then, very carefully, "You know so much about the Sith, Chancellor, almost as if you studied their ways personally." Calculation. The Sith are a fascinating subject of historical study. I've made it my business to understand all aspects of the Force, not just the narrow Jedi interpretation. Then you could teach me. These powers to save Padme? Palpatine drops the mask entirely. His voice becomes cold. Absolute. I can teach you everything, Anakin, but only if you're willing to embrace the truth. The Jedi are holding you back. They fear your power. They always have. The Council does seem afraid of me, because you're stronger than they are, because you're the chosen one, and they want to control you, use you, but you could be so much more. Like what? Palpatine stands, moves to the window, his back to Anakin again. The office lights catch the reflection of his face in the glass. For just a moment his eyes flash yellow. Like my apprentice. Together we could rule the galaxy, bring order, end the war, save Padme, everything you've ever wanted. Anakin stands slowly. Your apprentice? Palpatine turns, and his expression is pure Sidious now. No more fatherly warmth. Just dark triumph. I am the Sith Lord you've been searching for, Anakin. I am Darth Sidious. I've guided your path since you were a boy. Qui-Gon's death, the war, the Council's treatment of you. I orchestrated it all, to prepare you for your true destiny. You're the Sith Lord, and you are going to become my new apprentice, or Padme will die, just like your mother died, just like everyone you've ever loved will die, unless you join me. Anakin's hand moves to his lightsaber. Palpatine doesn't flinch. Kill me, and you'll never learn the power to save her. The Jedi certainly can't help you. They'd rather let her die than break their precious code. And then Anakin does something Palpatine never expected. He smiles, not desperate, not confused, knowing, triumphant. You're absolutely right, Chancellor. The Jedi couldn't help me, but that's fine. Anakin reaches into his robes, pulls out the holocom transmitter, holds it up, because they didn't need to help me. They just needed to hear you confess. Palpatine's face goes slack. Every word you just said was transmitted directly to the Jedi Council. Masters Yoda, Windu, and Kenobi have been listening from the temple. The entire conversation is recorded, encrypted, and backed up in 17 different locations. The air in the room grows heavy, dark. Palpatine's fury explodes. The office windows shatter, glass raining down, dark side energy crackling. You dare. I dare, Anakin says. Voice steel. Because I've seen what you become, Sidious, emperor of a dead empire. Betrayed by your own apprentice, killed by your own arrogance. I've lived that future, and I'm here to make sure it never happens. Palpatine's eyes burn yellow, fully Sith now. Then you've chosen death. But Anakin is ready. His lightsaber ignites, blue blade catching the lightning, dissipating the energy harmlessly. I've caught your lightning before, Master. When I was Vader, when I threw you down that shaft to save my son. This is just practice. Palpatine's face contorts, rage, shock, recalibration. And then the office doors explode inward. Through the shattered entrance step, Mace Windu, purple lightsaber blazing, Obi-Wan Kenobi, ready and grim. Yoda, ancient but powerful. Behind them, Kit Fisto, Agent Kolar, and Saesee Tiin. This time, there's no confusion, no uncertainty. They've all heard the confession. They all know the truth. Chancellor Palpatine, Mace's voice is granite, or should I say, Darth Sidious. You are under arrest for treason, conspiracy, murder, and war crimes against the Republic. Palpatine assesses his situation in microseconds. 6 Jedi, not 4. Anakin is not on his side. His confession was recorded and transmitted. Order 66 hasn't been activated yet. The element of surprise is gone. But Sidious is 800 years of Sith cunning. He doesn't panic. He adapts. So the Jedi finally reveal their true colors. You claim I'm the threat, yet you burst into my office with weapons drawn. Who are the real traitors to democracy? We have your confession, Obi-Wan states coldly. Doctored recordings. Jedi mind tricks. The Senate will never believe you, won't they? Padme's voice cuts through the tension. She steps into the office. Flanked by Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and a dozen senators from the delegation of 2,000, the recording was transmitted not just to the Jedi Council, but to my personal secure server. The Senate leadership has already heard it, Chancellor. Your manipulation of the war, your Sith identity, your threats against my life. It's all documented. For the first time, genuine anger cracks through Palpatine's facade. You think you've won? You think exposing me changes anything? I am the Senate. The clone armies are loyal to me. The systems are under my control. One word from me, and every Jedi in this galaxy dies. Order 66, Anakin says quietly. I know. That's why we've already neutralized it. Palpatine's eyes widen fractionally. Impossible. The inhibitor chips in the clones. We've corrupted the activation frequency. When you try to give the order, all you'll get is static. Sidious understands. The trap has reversed. But he's still Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith. He will not go quietly. You may have thwarted one contingency, but I've survived for decades by always having another. His form begins to shift, the kindly Chancellor facade melting away, eyes burning yellow, voice becoming a hiss of pure malevolence. I am the culmination of 1,000 years of Sith philosophy. I am the darkness that predates your precious Jedi Order, and you will kneel. His lightsaber, crimson blade that seems to drink the light, appears in his hand. He strikes at Agen Kolar first. In the canonical timeline, Sidious kills 3 masters in seconds. Not this time. Obi-Wan's blade intercepts the strike meant for Kolar. Mace counters from the left. Anakin presses from the right. Yoda stands back, coordinating through the Force, creating a stabilizing field that prevents Sidious from using his more esoteric dark side powers. The 4-on-1 duel. Mace Windu. Aggressive. Vapad channeling Sidious's own darkness against him. Purple blade blurring with barely controlled fury. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Defensive perfection. Sorasu at its finest. Every strike deflected. Every counter measured. The immovable object. Yoda. The Force itself moves through him. Not just lightsaber combat, but centuries of wisdom. Disrupting Sidious's techniques before they fully form. Anakin Skywalker. This is where the true horror for Sidious begins. Anakin fights with Vader's gem-so brutality. But fueled by the light side, he knows every trick Sidious will try. 20 years of training under him. He anticipates every feint, every Force technique, every psychological manipulation. And he's angry, not the corrupted anger of the dark side, pure, righteous fury. A father protecting his unborn children. A husband defending his wife. A Jedi defending the innocent. Sidious tries to kill Kit Fisto with a throat slash. Anakin's blade catches it, inch from contact. Sidious attempts a Force push. Yoda counters it. The two ancient beings locked in a Force struggle that makes the air crackle. He aims lightning at Obi-Wan. Anakin intercepts it on his blade. Just like in the office. You think you know me, boy? Sidious snarls. I became you, Anakin replies. I know every thought in your diseased mind. And I'm here to make sure it dies with you. That future is gone. Then let me introduce you to a new outcome. Slowly, inexorably, the Jedi Masters wear Sidious down. Mace lands a strike across his shoulder. Obi-Wan disarms one of his hands. Yoda breaks his concentration. His Force barrier flickers. Anakin presses forward. Blade work absolutely relentless. Realizing he's losing, Sidious does what Sith do best. He cheats. Force scream, a technique so brutal it shatters transparasteel and ruptures eardrums. The Jedi stagger back, disoriented. In that moment, Sidious attempts to escape, Force speed toward the window, but Yoda is ready. Going somewhere, you are not. The ancient Jedi Master lifts a hand. Sidious slams back into the center of the room, held by an iron grip of Force power. Mace approaches the pinned Sith Lord, lightsaber raised. In the canonical timeline, This is where Anakin interferes. Not this time. Anakin stands beside Mace. His blade also pointed at Sidious. He's too dangerous to be kept alive, Mace says. Anakin nods. I know. I've seen what happens when we show mercy to Sith Lords. They don't reform. They don't surrender. They corrupt and destroy. Sidious, still defiant even in defeat, spits. Kill me and you become like me. You Jedi are such hypocrites. Anakin's voice is quiet. No, killing you isn't revenge. It's not anger. It's not the dark side. It's justice. Mace Windu's blade begins to descend. But Yoda intervenes. Stop. Mace freezes, lightsaber an inch from Sidious's heart. Master Yoda? Kill him we will not. Trial he will face. Justice the Republic will serve. Anakin turns to Yoda. Incredulous. You heard what he said. You felt his power. If we take him alive, he'll escape. Manipulate. Corrupt. Fear I sense in you, young Skywalker. Fear that led to darkness before. Palpatine is a cancer. You don't negotiate with cancer. You cut it out. Yoda's voice is firm. Lives we take, monsters we become. The Jedi way, this is not. Anakin's voice rises. The Jedi way led to Order 66, to the Empire, to extinction. Maybe it's time for a new way. Obi-Wan steps between them. Anakin's right, Master Yoda. In the future he remembers. Showing mercy to Sidious led to 20 years of tyranny. We can't risk it. If we execute him without trial, we're no better than he is. We prove his propaganda, that the Jedi are warlords who impose their will above the law. The law? Anakin's voice is anguished. Padme, he is the law. He controls the courts, the Senate, the bureaucracy. A trial is a formality that ends with his escape. Then we make sure he doesn't escape. But we do this the right way, Anakin. We rebuild the Republic on justice, not summary execution. Anakin looks at Sidious, the monster who destroyed his life, his family, the galaxy. Every instinct screams, kill him, end it, don't risk it. But he looks at Padme, at their future, at the twins she carries. Does he want to build a galaxy for them based on fear and preemptive violence, or on law and hope? His blade lowers. Fine, we do this your way. But if he escapes, if he hurts one more person, that's on the Council. Mace deactivates his lightsaber, produces force-suppressing cuffs, ancient Jedi technology, binds Sidious's wrists, suppression field engaging, the Sith Lord's connection to the Force severs. This isn't over, Sidious hisses. I've won. I've already won. The galaxy will tear itself apart without me. You'll see. Chaos, disorder, suffering, and you'll beg for someone to impose order again. Anakin leans in close. Maybe, but it won't be you. Your empire dies today and you'll live just long enough to watch it burn. Every news network across the Republic broadcasts the recordings. Palpatine's confession, his Sith identity, his threats, his manipulation. The galaxy watches in horror. Emergency Senate session. The chamber packed. Bail Organa proposes a vote of no confidence. Not to remove Palpatine from office, he's already in custody, but to strip him of emergency powers and transfer authority to an interim council pending trial. The vote is contentious. Palpatine's loyalists refuse to believe the evidence. Claim Jedi manipulation, skeptics suspect trickery. Enhanced recordings, mind control, but the believers, horrified but convinced, outnumber them. Padme takes the floor. Members of the Senate, we've been at war for 3 years. We've lost millions of lives. We've ceded freedoms in the name of security. And now we learn that the man we trusted to lead us is the architect of our suffering. This is about truth, about accountability, about whether we are a republic of laws or a dictatorship of convenience. She presents the data, the Order 66 protocols, the inhibitor chips, the contingency plans for total control. Palpatine didn't just plan to win the war. He planned to enslave the entire galaxy. The clone armies, soldiers we created, soldiers who fought and died for us, they were rigged to execute their Jedi commanders on his command. Medical scans of clone troopers, performed by Kamino scientists under Republic supervision, confirm the chips. The chips are removed from volunteers, dissected, analyzed. The programming is undeniable. Order 66. Execute all Jedi. The Senate votes overwhelmingly. Palpatine is stripped of all powers. Interim leadership transferred to a council of senators. Bail Organa. Mon Mothma. Padme Amidala. The trial itself is scheduled. Maximum security. Force-suppressing facility. But Anakin's warning echoes in every mind. If he escapes, 3 days later, prison transport convoy. Coruscant lower levels. Darth Sidious sits in a containment cell. Force-suppressing restraints. Maximum security transport. 12 Jedi guards, 20 Republic soldiers. Gunships escorting. Nothing should go wrong. But Sidious has contingencies upon contingencies. Deep in Coruscant's underworld, a small cadre of dark Jedi. Sith cultists. Loyalists who worship the old ways. They've been waiting, activated by deadman protocols Sidious established years ago. The attack comes at the most vulnerable point, a tunnel junction. Limited escape routes. They deploy prototype darkside artifacts, ancient Sith technology. For 60 seconds, the force-suppressing fields disrupt. 60 seconds. It's enough. Sidious erupts from his restraints. Lightning arcing. Guards dying. Screaming. 17 guards dead in seconds. 3 Jedi Knights burned to ash. The Sith Lord flees into the underworld. Pursued. Anakin receives the alert in Padme's apartment. He's out the door before the message finishes. Obi-Wan meets him in the temple hangar. Mace and Yoda arriving moments later. He's loose, Mace says grimly. I told you, Anakin replies. Voice cold. I told you he'd escape. Debate later, Yoda commands. Find him now, we must. They track him through the Force, following the trail of darkness through Coruscant's lower levels. Down into the industrial sectors, the forgotten places, until they reach it, an abandoned structure, ancient. Massive doors carved with Sith runes. What is this place? Obi-Wan asks. A Sith temple, Anakin says quietly, built beneath Coruscant thousands of years ago, before the Jedi Temple was constructed above it. You knew this was here. Vader knew. The Empire excavated it, used it for darkside rituals. The doors are open, darkness pouring out. They enter. Inside a vast chamber, columns carved with ancient Sith script, the air thick with darkside energy, and at the center, Darth Sidious. Surrounded by darkside power, the temple amplifying his connection. I wondered how long it would take you, Sidious says. Voice echoing. Welcome to the true heart of Coruscant, the foundation upon which your precious Jedi Temple was built. You've been living above a Sith shrine for 1,000 years and never knew. This ends now, Mace states. Yes, it does. Sidious moves. This isn't an arrest anymore. This is a hunt. And the prey has become the predator. Round 1, Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious. Vapad versus Sith Fury. Mace channels Sidious's darkness back at him. Their blades clash in deadly dance, but Sidious is fighting on consecrated darkside ground. Every shadow empowers him. Mace is wounded. Lightning strike across his chest. Thrown aside. Round 2. Obi-Wan and Yoda versus Darth Sidious. The Master of Defense and the Ancient Sage combine styles. Obi-Wan holds the line. Yoda strikes from impossible angles. But Sidious adapts. Lightning arcs through the chamber. Darkside visions assault their minds. Obi-Wan is forced to retreat, protecting an unconscious Mace. Round 3. Anakin Skywalker versus Darth Sidious. Now it's personal. Sidious sneers. Ah, there you are. My fallen apprentice. Or should I say, my failed apprentice. You were supposed to be Vader, my masterpiece, my perfect weapon. Instead, you're a sentimental fool. Anakin ignites his lightsaber. I was Vader. For 20 years I served you, I killed for you, I hated for you, and in the end, I destroyed you. That future is gone, boy. This is a new timeline. Then let me introduce you to a new outcome. The duel. Anakin fights with everything. Vader's gems sow brutality, overpowering strikes, relentless aggression. The light side's clarity. No rage, no fear. Focused purpose. A father's love. Fighting for Luke and Leia's future. A husband's devotion. Fighting for the galaxy's freedom. Sidious counters with centuries of Sith knowledge. Techniques lost to time, dark side amplification, the temple feeding him power. Psychological warfare, your wife will die screaming your name. Force abilities, lightning, drain, scream, grip, they clash. Blade against blade, light against dark, evenly matched. Until Sidious catches Anakin in a force drain, literally siphoning his life energy. You cannot defeat me, Skywalker. I am eternal. I am inevitable. I am... Yoda's voice cuts through. Alone, he is not. The ancient Jedi Master joins his presence with Anakin's in the Force, their combined light pushing back against the darkness. Obi-Wan, supporting the wounded Mace, adds his strength. Even Mace, barely conscious, contributes remaining power. 4 Jedi, united in the Force, creating a blinding nexus of light. Sidious unleashes his ultimate attack. Unlimited Force lightning, channeled through the temple's power. It should kill them all. But Anakin, remembering the throne room aboard the second Death Star, knowing exactly how this moment feels, catches the lightning on his blade. Not deflecting, not blocking, absorbing, redirecting, transforming it into pure light. The blue lightning turns golden. The dark side energy inverts. Anakin channels it back at Sidious. The Sith Lord is caught in his own power, amplified by the light side's purifying energy. His body convulses. Screams echo through the temple. For just a moment, Anakin sees it, the miserable, frightened man beneath the monster. Palpatine as he was before he became Sidious. A lonely child, desperate for power, terrified of death. I could save you, Anakin says quietly. Even now, I could pull you back from the darkness. Sidious's eyes clear for just an instant. He makes his choice. Never. He pours every remaining ounce of power into one final attack. Anakin, with perfect Gem-So form, strikes through it. His lightsaber pierces Sidious's heart. Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith, Emperor in waiting, architect of galactic suffering, dies. Not as a god, as a man. His body dissolves into ash and dark side energy, scattering into the Force. Anakin collapses. Exhausted, Yoda catches him with the Force. Defeated him, you have. Saved the galaxy, you have. We saved it, Anakin corrects. Together, Obi-Wan helps Anakin to his feet. It's over, brother. No, Anakin says, looking at the remains of the Sith temple. Now it begins. Now we rebuild. They leave the temple, emerging into Coruscant's lower levels. Behind them, the ancient structure begins to collapse, the dark side energy dispersing. The foundation is crumbling, but above, the Republic still stands. Jedi Temple, Council Chamber. 1 week later, with Sidious dead, his contingency plans collapse like a house of cards. The clone armies stand down. Emergency recall issued galaxy-wide. All clone units ordered to return to garrison positions pending chip removal. The protocol begins immediately. Kaminoan medical teams, supervised by Jedi healers and Republic doctors, working around the clock. The chips are removed. One by one, legion by legion, Commander Cody, Commander Rex, Commander Bly, Commander Gree. Thousands of clones freed from programming they never knew existed. When Cody wakes from the procedure, Obi-Wan is there. Sir, Cody says, confused. What happened? You were about to be turned into a weapon against me. We stopped it. Cody's face goes pale. I would have killed you. Not by choice. Never by choice. You're free now, Cody. All of you are free. The clone trooper looks at his hands, trying to process. What happens to us now? Obi-Wan places a hand on his shoulder. That's up to you. Decommission with full honors. Continue serving a reformed Republic military, or choose a completely different path. The choice is yours. Across the galaxy, similar conversations happen. Clones learning they were programmed, learning they're now free. Some choose to continue serving, others retire. Some seek civilian lives they never imagined possible. Clone rights legislation passes the Senate within weeks. Citizenship, support, recognition. They are no longer property, they are people. The Separatist leadership, stranded on Mustafar without Sidious's coordination, receives an unexpected transmission. Bail Organa and Padme, representing the interim Senate Council, negotiate a ceasefire. The revelation that Palpatine manipulated both sides shocks the separatist leaders. Count Dooku is dead. General Grievous, hunted by Obi-Wan on Utapau, is eliminated. The droid armies power down. The war ends not with conquest but with truth. Planets that seceded begin the slow process of reintegration, not through force, through diplomacy. Understanding, acknowledgement of the grievances that made them vulnerable to Sidious's manipulation in the first place. It will take years, but the foundation is being laid. Jedi Temple, Grand Convocation, 2 weeks after Sidious's death. Yoda calls an emergency gathering. Every surviving Jedi, thousands assembled in the temple's great hall, masters, knights, Padawans, even younglings, watching from the galleries. The Grand Master stands before them, small, ancient, but his presence fills the chamber. Arrogant we have become, Yoda begins, voice carrying to every corner, rigid, detached from the very people we swore to protect. Our fear of the dark side made us fear emotion itself. Our dedication to peace made us blind to injustice. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. This is unprecedented, the Grand Master admitting failure. The Jedi Order must change or we will fall again, if not to Sith, then to our own irrelevance. The old Jedi Code appears, words that have guided the Order for millennia. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. Served us well, this code has, for centuries, but absolute, it is not. Infallible, it is not. Changed, it must be. Beside the old code, new words appear. Emotion and peace coexist in balance. Knowledge grows from questioning, not assumption. Passion directed toward purpose serves the light. From chaos, we bring harmony through understanding. Death is a transition, not an ending. We honor those we love. Proposed, these changes are. Debated, they will be. But necessary, they are. Mace Windu stands. Master Yoda, you're suggesting we fundamentally alter the code that has defined us for thousands of years. Suggesting? Yoda's ears lower. No. Declaring, I am. The old code created the conditions for our fall. Young Skywalker showed us this. Lived the consequences he did. Learn from his suffering we must. An older master, traditional and set in his ways, rises. This dilutes our connection to the Force. Weakens our discipline. Anakin stands from where he's been sitting quietly in the back. May I speak, Master Yoda? Speak, you may. Anakin walks to the center. Every eye on him. I stood at the edge of the dark side. I fell into it in another timeline, and it wasn't love that pushed me. It was fear of love, fear that the Order told me was wisdom. He looks around the chamber, making eye contact with masters, knights, Padawans. The Sith tell you to embrace emotion, without restraint. The old Jedi Code told you to suppress emotion entirely. Both are paths to corruption. True balance is acknowledging your emotions, understanding them, and choosing how to act on them. That's not weakness. That's strength. I loved my mother. When she died, I slaughtered a village in rage. The old code says that proves attachment is dangerous. But the real problem wasn't that I loved her. It's that I was never taught how to grieve, how to process loss, how to feel pain without letting it consume me. His voice strengthens. I love my wife. I love the children she carries. Under the old code, that love would have destroyed me because I'd have been taught to hide it, fear it, suppress it. Under the new code, that love is my strength, my anchor, my reason to stay in the light. Silence. Then Obi-Wan stands. I support the new code. I've watched the old one fail too many times, watched it create the very problems it claimed to prevent. Other Jedi rise, voices of agreement, not unanimous, but growing. The debate continues for hours, passionate, honest, sometimes heated, but when the vote is called, the result is clear. The new code is adopted, not without dissent. Some of the older, more traditional masters refuse to accept it. A handful leave the Order entirely, but the majority stay, willing to try, willing to change. Yoda, recognizing that the Order needs new leadership for a new era, makes his final announcement. Step down as Grand Master, I will. The chamber erupts. Shock, protest, disbelief. Yoda raises a hand. Silence falls. Served the Order for 800 years I have, but new leadership, this new era requires someone who understands both the old ways and the new path. He turns to Obi-Wan. Master Kenobi, nominate you for Grand Master, I do. Obi-Wan's face goes pale. Master Yoda, I'm not ready for. Perfect for this task, you are not, Yoda admits. But perfect, no one is. Wisdom you have. Compassion you have. And most importantly, adaptability you have. Lead the Jedi into a new age you can. The Council votes. The decision is unanimous. Obi-Wan Kenobi reluctantly accepts the position of Grand Master. His first official act, a formal offer to Anakin. Council chamber. Private session. Just Anakin and the 12 Masters. Obi-Wan, now seated in the Grand Master's chair, speaks. Anakin Skywalker, the Council grants you the rank of Jedi Master. We also offer you a seat on this council, should you choose to accept it. Anakin looks at the 12 Masters assembled, then at Obi-Wan, his brother. Then, at the door, where he knows Padme is waiting in the temple gardens. I'm honored, he says, truly honored. Pause. But I'm going to decline. Shock ripples through the chamber. Decline? Mace asks. Anakin, this is the recognition you've wanted for years. No, Anakin says quietly. It's the recognition I thought I wanted. But I've spent my entire life defined by what others expected me to be. The chosen one. The hero with no fear. Vader. I don't want to be defined by a title anymore. He looks at each master in turn. I want to be a husband. A father. A Jedi, yes. But on my own terms. I'll serve the Order when called upon. I'll defend the innocent. I'll uphold the light, but I'm going to do it while openly raising my children with the woman I love. Maybe this is how. By proving that Jedi don't have to choose between their duty and their humanity. That we can be whole people, not just warriors. Obi-Wan smiles. Genuine. Warm. Then go, Anakin. Raise your family. Be happy. And when the galaxy needs you, we'll call. Until then, you've more than earned your peace. Anakin bows. Formal. Respectful. Then leaves. Outside, Padme waits. 6 months pregnant now, showing clearly. She sees his face. You turned them down. I did. No regrets? None. They walk through the temple gardens together, hand in hand. What now? She asks. Now we go to Naboo, Lake Country. Somewhere quiet. Where our children can be born surrounded by peace, not politics. And after? After, we build a life. Whatever that looks like, whatever we choose it to be. She leans her head on his shoulder. I like the sound of that. Naboo. Lake Country. 4 months later, a modest home, gardens, water, mountains in the distance. Inside, Padme labors, surrounded by medical droids. Bail Organa's personal physicians, Obi-Wan and Yoda, present as witnesses and protectors. Anakin holds her breathing, refusing to leave her side. Almost there, the medical droid announces. One more push. Padme screams, squeezes Anakin's hand hard enough to bruise. Then, a baby's cry. It's a boy, the droid announces. Luke Skywalker enters the world. Wailing. Alive. Perfect. Anakin cuts the umbilical cord with shaking hands, takes his son, holds him, tears streaming down his face. In another timeline, he never knew this child, never held him like this, only met him as an enemy, as Vader. Hello, Luke, he whispers. I'm your father, and I'm going to be here for every moment. We're not done yet, the medical droid says. Minutes later, a second cry. It's a girl, Leia Skywalker, just as loud, just as perfect. Padme holds her daughter. Exhausted, radiant. They're beautiful, she whispers. Just like their mother. Obi-Wan stands in the doorway, watching, smiling. This is what he fought for. What they all fought for. Not victory in battle, not political power. This. Family, peace, hope. Yoda approaches the twins, places a hand on each tiny forehead. Strong in the Force, both are, but choice they will have. Jedi they may become, or another path they may choose. Free, they are. Anakin looks at the ancient master. Thank you, Master Yoda, for listening, for changing, for trusting me. Thank you, young Skywalker. Shown us the way you have, saved us from ourselves. The Jedi leave, giving the family privacy. Anakin and Padme sit together, Luke in his arms, Leia in hers. The twin sons of Naboo set through the window, orange and gold painting the sky. Are you crying? Padme asks, noticing his tears. Happy tears. For the first time in 2 lifetimes, I'm not afraid of the future. What do you see when you look at them? Everything I almost lost. Everything I was willing to destroy the galaxy to save. And now they're here. Real. Safe. We did it, Anakin. We saved them. We saved everyone. We did it together. They sit in comfortable silence. New parents. Exhausted. Overwhelmed. Perfectly content. Outside, the Naboo sunset fades. Stars emerge. Somewhere in the Force, a presence watches. Not quite Qui-Gon Jinn, not quite anything with a name, but something warm, approving. The living Force itself, perhaps, watching the Chosen One hold his children, watching balance restored not through destruction, but through love. The presence sighs. Deep satisfaction. Then fades. 5 years later, Naboo, Lake Country. The same modest home. Luke and Leia, now 5 years old, play in the gardens, already showing signs of Force sensitivity, moving small objects, sensing emotions, laughing with the pure joy of children who know they're loved. Anakin teaches engineering at a local academy. Simple work. Honest work. He occasionally consults for the Jedi on technical matters or joins missions when his unique skills are needed. But mostly, he's just a father, a husband, a man. Padme continues her work in the Senate, championing reform. Galactic unity, the hard work of rebuilding what Palpatine nearly destroyed. They are, by all accounts, an ordinary family. Except they're not. Ahsoka Tano visits, now a respected Jedi Knight under the Reformed Order. Master, she greets Anakin with a grin. Not your master anymore, snips. Just Anakin. You'll always be my master. They watch Luke practicing with a wooden training saber, mimicking Jedi forms he's seen in holovids. He has your talent, Ahsoka observes. He has Padme's wisdom, thank the Force. Will you train him? Anakin hesitates. If he wants to be a Jedi, yes, but only if he chooses it. No prophecies, no expectations, just choice. That's a good answer. They sit together, master and former Padawan, watching the children play. Do you ever think about it? Ahsoka asks. That other timeline, the life you almost lived. Every day, Vader is always there, in my memories. The pain, the anger, the loss. Does it scare you? No. It reminds me. He takes her hand. That every choice matters. That love is worth fighting for. That the future isn't written in prophecy. It's written in the choices we make right now. Inside the house, Padme watches from the window. Her husband and children. Her family. In another timeline, she died believing Anakin had betrayed everything they stood for. In this one, she lives, thrives, loves freely. The difference? One moment. One choice. One man brave enough to ask for help instead of facing his fears alone. The children run to Anakin, demanding he play with them. He laughs, chases them through the garden. For a moment, Ahsoka sees it. The ghost of Vader. The shadow of what he could have been. Then Leia tackles Anakin's legs. He falls dramatically. Luke piles on. They're all laughing. The shadow disappears. This is who he is now, who he chose to be. Not the chosen one. Not the hero with no fear. Not Darth Vader. Just Anakin Skywalker. Father. Husband. Friend. And that's enough. As the twin sons of Naboo begin to set, Anakin carries his children inside, one under each arm. They're giggling, demanding stories. Padme meets them at the door, kisses her husband, ruffles her children's hair. They sit together for dinner, ordinary family routine, sharing their day, planning tomorrow, after the children are asleep. Anakin and Padme stand on their terrace, looking at the stars. Do you ever wonder what would have happened? Padme asks. If you hadn't remembered. If Yoda's words hadn't triggered the memories. Every day. But I try not to dwell on it. That timeline is gone. This is what's real. We're real. We're real. He confirms. Taking her hand. I love you, Anakin Skywalker. In this timeline and every other. I love you too, and I will never let fear of losing you drive me to darkness again. They stand together under the stars. Below, in their bedrooms, Luke and Leia sleep peacefully, dreaming whatever 5-year-olds dream. Unaware that their father saved the galaxy by making one impossible choice. Unaware that they exist because he was brave enough to be vulnerable, honest, human. They'll learn the story someday, when they're older, when they can understand. But for now, they just know they're loved. And that's all that matters. Coruscant. Jedi Temple. Same night. Obi-Wan Kenobi stands in the Grand Master's meditation chamber. 5 years leading the Order. 5 years of reform, change, growing pains. But also, hope. The Jedi are no longer an isolated warrior caste. They work alongside civilian authorities, train in emotional intelligence, study philosophy and diplomacy alongside combat. The new generation of Padawans is different, more balanced, more whole. Obi-Wan reaches out through the Force, feels the galaxy. Millions of lives, thousands of Jedi scattered across the stars. No empire, no Order 66, no genocide, just life. Continuing, growing, healing. He thinks of Anakin, his brother, the man who was supposed to fall, who instead rose higher than anyone imagined. You did it, old friend. Obi-Wan whispers to the empty room. You brought balance, not through destruction, through choice. The Force hums in response, approving, content. Somewhere on Dagobah, Yoda sits in meditation. He chose exile not as punishment, but as spiritual journey, seeking the deeper mysteries of the Force, away from politics and noise. Before he departed, he left a message for Anakin. Skywalker, Anakin. The chosen one you were called. Balance you were to bring. And brought it, you have, not through destruction, but through love. Not through power, but through choice. Not through destiny, but through defiance of it. Proud of you, I am. Not for what you accomplished, but for who you became. Failed, I did, to see that the greatest strength is not in letting go, but in holding on to the right things. May the Force be with you, always. On Dagobah, the ancient master smiles, opens his eyes, looks at the stars. The prophecy is fulfilled. The Sith are destroyed. The Jedi are reformed. And the chosen one chose not power, but family. Balance, achieved at last. Naboo, Lake Country. Final scene, Luke and Leia playing in the garden one last time. Luke, Leia, do you think we'll be Jedi someday? Leia, I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe we'll be senators, or pilots, or engineers like Dad. Luke, Dad says he was someone bad in another life. Do you think we could become bad too? Leia, with wisdom beyond her years, Mom says we all have darkness and light in us. It's our choices that matter. Luke, then I choose to be good. Leia, me too. They run off, playing, innocent, free. Anakin and Padme watch from the porch. Do you ever think about it? Padme asks. That other timeline, the life you almost lived. Every day, Vader is always there, in my memories. The pain, the anger, the loss. Does it scare you? No. It reminds me. He takes her hand. That every choice matters. That love is worth fighting for. That the future isn't written in prophecy. It's written in the choices we make right now. Padme leans her head on his shoulder. Then we made the right choice. We made it together. As the camera pulls back, showing the Skywalker family in their peaceful garden, Anakin's voiceover echoes. I was supposed to bring balance to the Force by destroying the Sith. But that's not how balance works. Balance isn't the absence of darkness. It's the choice to embrace light, despite the darkness. It's not detachment. It's love strong enough to overcome fear. It's not destiny. It's free will. But I chose to be something better. A father, a husband, a friend, and that choice saved the galaxy more surely than any prophecy ever could. This is the way of the true Jedi, not the old code, not the Sith, but something new, balance. In all things, the twin suns of Naboo set, orange and gold fading to purple and blue. The Skywalker family walks into their home together. The door closes. Inside, laughter, warmth, life. Outside, peace. Stars emerging. The galaxy continuing. No empire. No Death Star. No Alderaan destroyed. No rebellion needed. Just life. Ordinary. Precious. Free. The Force settles into perfect equilibrium. Light and dark. Emotion and peace. Attachment and duty. All in balance. The prophecy fulfilled not through fire and blood, but through one man's choice to ask for help instead of facing his demons alone. Fade to black. The Force will be with them. Always. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.